The giant metal doors of the Zirathi arena opened with a deep, shaking boom. The sound rolled through the stone walls like thunder. Thousands of alien warriors shouted from the stands, their voices echoing across the glowing battlefield. Bright blue fire torches lit the arena. Casting sharp shadows on the sand dot, in the center stood Princess Jalira, tall and proud, her violet skin glowing under the arena lights. Long silver hair flowed across her armored shoulders. A cold smirk rested on her lips, the kind that made warriors tremble. Standing opposite her was a single human commander, Rafe Hawley. His hands were tied with shimmering energy cuffs, his face dusty from the long march. He had been captured only yesterday during a border clash between humans and the Zirathi Empire. The aliens expected him to cry or beg. Instead, he stood still, calm, as if he didn't care about death. Jalira narrowed her eyes at him. She loved breaking the spirit of proud opponents. But this human silence annoyed her. With a slow step forward, she raised her voice so the entire arena could hear. "Human," she said, her smirk widening. "My beast devours men stronger than you." The crowd exploded in laughter. Warriors slapped their armor, amused at the insult. Some even pointed at Rafe, betting how many seconds he would survive. But Rafe didn't drop his gaze. He looked directly at her, eyes sharp and cold. For a moment, Jalira felt something strange inside her chest, a tiny spark of surprise that he wasn't afraid. The general beside her grunted. "Princess, shall we begin the trial?" She nodded, never taking her eyes off Rafe. "Begin." Two guards pushed Rafe forward toward the iron pit gate. The ground vibrated as the massive gate rattled open. From below, a deep, rumbling growl echoed. Dust floated in the air, trembling with the vibration. Rafe looked down into the dark pit. He could not see anything inside, only two glowing red eyes far below. The princess leaned forward. "Try not to scream too much, human," she said softly. Rafe gave a small smile, not to show bravery, not to provoke, but almost amused. The princess's smirk faltered. For the first time, she felt a strange uncertainty. The guards cut the energy cuffs and shoved Rafe into the pit. He landed on rough sand, rolling but quickly pushing himself up. The moment he stood, the iron gate crashed shut behind him. Silence spread for a second, then the ground shook. Massive creature stepped forward from the shadows. Its skin was thick like stone, its mouth lined with long teeth glowing faintly under the arena's blue lights. A metal collar circled its neck, etched with Zirathi symbols. The royal devourer beast. No man had survived it. Jalira stood above, arms crossed, expression proud. "This is my champion," she declared to the crowd. "Watch, warriors. Watch how your princess breaks a human today." The crowd cheered wildly. Rafe stared at the beast. It was bigger than any creature he had seen, even bigger than the armored warbears used by humans in the frontier zones. It breathed heavily, its hot breath making the sand stir. A normal man would run. A normal man would scream. But Rafe only stood there, eyes steady, his face calm. He tilted his head slightly, studying the beast instead of fearing it. From above, Jalira frowned. What is he doing? Why is he not panicking? The beast roared suddenly and charged. The arena shook with every thunderous step. Jalira smiled again. Yes, this was the moment. This was where the human would break. But something unexpected happened. Rafe didn't move. He didn't run. He didn't even flinch. He lifted his hand slowly, calmly, as if he was facing a wild animal he had seen many times. The crowd gasped. The beast slowed. Confusion flickered in its glowing red eyes. Then impossible, it stopped just a few steps away. The princess blinked. Her jaw tightened. No one had ever made the beast hesitate. Rafe took one step forward. The beast lowered its head. The entire arena went silent. The princess's heart skipped a beat. It felt like cold air had been punched into her lungs. "No," she whispered. This is not possible. Her general shouted, "Princess! The beast is resisting control." Rafe placed his hand gently on the beast's snout. Instead of attacking, the beast let out a soft rumble like a loyal hound meeting its master. Warriors in the stands began shouting in panic, "Is this some human trick? Impossible! The beast obeys no one but the royal bloodline." Jalira stared down into the pit, her smirk completely gone. For the first time in her life, she felt a chill of fear. Who was this human? Rafe looked up at her, his expression unreadable. "Your beast is not hungry," he said simply. "It is scared." Gasps spread through the arena. Jalira felt anger rise inside her chest. Not because he insulted her monster, but because he spoke with such confidence. No fear, no shaking voice, no desperation. Just truth. She stepped closer to the edge. "How did you do that, human?" Rafe didn't answer. He only kept his hand on the beast, gently stroking its rough skin. The monster leaned into his touch like it trusted him. The princess clenched her fists. "Guards!" she shouted. "Get down there and seize him." 4 armored warriors rushed toward the lower entrance of the pit. The beast reacted instantly, its eyes flaring. It swung its head and roared so loudly the torches flickered. The guards froze. Even Jalira took a step back in shock. Rafe slowly removed his hand from the beast and spoke in a calm tone. "Don't attack. You will only anger it more." The beast bent its head lower, almost like bowing. The entire arena was stunned. Nothing like this had ever happened in the history of the Zarethi Empire. Princess Jalira stared at Rafe in silence. Her mind raced. Was the human using Forbidden's technology? Some secret military implant? Or was he simply something else entirely? She needed answers. She raised one hand, silencing her generals and the crowd. Her voice was low, almost hesitant. "Human," she called down. "What exactly are you?" Rafe didn't smile this time. He simply looked straight into her eyes. "Your biggest mistake," he said softly. "Or your only chance." Her breath caught in her throat. The entire arena went dead quiet, and in that silent moment, the princess realized something terrifying. This human was not a weak prisoner. He was something far more dangerous, and far more interesting. The arena remained silent, almost frozen in time. No warrior dared breathe too loudly. The princess stood above, her silver hair brushing against her armored chest as she leaned forward. She could not believe what she had just seen. The royal devourer beast, her family's most feared creature, was bowing to a human. Princess Jalira had seen beasts obey her. She had seen warriors kneel in fear. She had seen men stronger than Rafe die screaming. But she had never seen her beast kneel to anyone else, especially not a human. Rafe stood beside the creature calmly, one hand resting on its head. His posture was relaxed but alert, like he had experienced this kind of danger before. He didn't celebrate or mock the aliens. He simply existed in the chaos, steady like a mountain. The princess pressed her hand to her temple, trying to maintain control. "This is impossible," she muttered. Her general, Uthar, stepped forward. "Princess, allow me to end this. The beast is malfunctioning. Kill it, and the human both." Jalira whipped her head toward him, anger flashing in her violet eyes. "No, we will not kill the beast. Or the human." Uthar's jaw tightened in confusion. "But your highness, silence," she commanded, her voice sharp as a blade. Below them, Rafe whispered something to the beast. The creature made a soft rumbling noise, almost like a purr before lowering itself to sit beside him. Warriors in the stands erupted again. "This is sorcery. Humans cannot control Zarethi beasts. He must be hiding some device." Jalira raised her hand and the noise fell. She stared down at Rafe, not angry, not proud, just curious. She wanted answers, and she wanted them now. The princess descends with a sharp turn. Jalira marched toward the lower stairs of the arena. 2 guards followed her, but she raised a hand. No guards. The warriors exchanged worried glances. "Princess, it is too dangerous. I am the heir of the Zarethi Empire," she snapped. "No beast and no human will frighten me." She walked alone down the stone steps, her armor clinking lightly. Each step echoed in the quiet arena. Rafe heard her coming and stepped back from the beast, keeping one hand raised to calm it. The princess entered the pit slowly. The sand shifted beneath her boots. The beast growled as she approached. Rafe looked at her calmly. "Move slowly." Sudden actions confuse it. Jalira paused, surprised he would give her advice. She raised her chin and stepped forward confidently. The beast huffed loudly but did not attack. Her eyes flicked toward Rafe. "How are you controlling it?" "I'm not," Rafe replied. "I'm communicating." She narrowed her eyes. "Humans cannot speak to beasts." "Not with words," he said softly, "but with presence." She scoffed. "Presence? Show me proof." Rafe took one single step toward her. Immediately, the beast rose defensively, placing its massive body between them. Jalira's breath caught. The creature was protecting the human? Rafe exhaled calmly. "You see? It senses threat, not language." The princess stared at the giant creature blocking her path. Its glowing red eyes locked on her like she was the danger. "Not Rafe." She lowered her sword, slowly, carefully. The beast relaxed. Her heart pounded, not from fear, but from realization that this human wasn't controlling the beast. The beast was choosing him. The princess's Jalira circled Rafe, studying him with the eyes of a warrior, not royalty. "Your species is known for stubbornness," she said, "but not for controlling creatures stronger than themselves." Rafe met her gaze. "Maybe your people measured humans wrong." She smirked faintly. "Bold words from a prisoner." "Bold actions are what you prefer," Rafe replied, nodding toward the still watching crowd. Her smirk faded. She didn't like being read so easily. "General Othar thinks I should kill you," she said casually. Rafe tilted his head. "And what do you think?" Her voice dropped slightly. "I think killing you won't answer my questions." The beast growled again, forcing Jalira to pause. Rafe placed his hand on its head, calming it instantly. That small gesture made Jalira's chest tighten strangely. This human. He wasn't weak. He wasn't scared. He wasn't ordinary. He was something else. Something dangerous. Instability in the Empire. Before she could speak again, loud alarms blared through the arena. Red lights flashed. General Othar stormed to the edge of the pit. "Princess! Assassins are inside the palace grounds. They are heading toward you." Jalira's eyes widened. Enemy factions had been rising recently, but an attack inside the arena? This was serious. She reached for her sword, but 3 masked assassins leaped over the railing and dropped into the pit behind her. One raised a plasma blade. The other 2 charged. Before Jalira could react, Rafe shouted, "Duck!" Without thinking, she obeyed. A plasma knife flashed over her head. The beast roared like a raging storm, charging forward. It slammed into one assassin, throwing him across the pit. Another assassin rushed at Jalira. Blade ready, Rafe grabbed the attacker's wrist, twisted it, and slammed the assassin to the ground with surprising strength. Jalira stared, shocked. How is a human this fast? Another assassin lunged, but the beast blocked him, smashing him into the stone wall. Sand dust blew across the pit. The fight ended in seconds. Jalira slowly rose to her feet. Her heart hammered. She had just witnessed a human and a beast protect her together, as if she were their priority. Rafe stood a few steps away, breathing heavily but steady. He extended his hand toward her, not for attack, but to help her stand. Jalira hesitated. A princess accepting help from a human? Impossible. She took his hand anyway, His grip was firm, warm, steady. For a moment, she forgot the arena, the warriors. The beast everything. Only his eyes met hers. Calm and sharp. The princess questions her beliefs. General Othar shouted from above, "Princess, come back up immediately. It is unsafe." Jalira didn't move. She continued staring at Rafe. "Why did you help me?" she asked quietly. "I am your enemy." Rafe shook his head. "No, you are a person standing in danger. That is all I saw." The simplicity of his words struck her more deeply than any insult or battle. She expected humans to be desperate, weak, but Rafe showed something else. Honor.z. Jalira turned slightly, studying the beast resting beside him like a loyal guardian. She whispered, almost to herself, "Humans, your species is strange." Rafe gave a small, tired smile. "We survive by doing what others won't." A dangerous curiosity. The princess stepped closer, eyes narrowed but softer now. "Human," she said, "there will be no more games." Rafe raised an eyebrow. "Then what now?" She took a breath, lowering her voice so others could not hear. "Now, I want to know exactly what you are." Rafe's answer was calm and quiet. "Then keep me alive long enough, princess, and maybe I will tell you." Her breath caught again. This human was playing a dangerous game, and she was letting him. Part 2 ending cliffhanger. Above them, more alarms blared. Othar shouted that enemy forces were entering the arena halls. Jalira looked at Rafe and the beast. For the first time in her life, she made a choice not as a princess, but as a warrior following instinct. "Human," she said firmly, "fight with me." Rafe nodded once. The beast rose to full height, roaring like thunder. The princess, the human, and the monster stood together as shadows approached from the ruined hallway. The war inside the empire had just begun, and Rafe was now at the center of it. The arena trembled as the alarms continued to blare. Red lights flashed along the upper walls, painting everything with an urgent glow. Princess Jalira stepped forward, sword raised, standing beside the human she once mocked. On her other side, the giant devourer beast growled deeply, sensing the danger moving closer. The stone hallway leading into the pit shook. Dust fell, then shadows emerged. 6 armored assassins rushed into the arena pit, weapons glowing bright blue. Their armor carried the crest of the Zarethi Council, one of the princess's strongest political enemies. They had come to kill her. Rafe stepped slightly in front of her. Jalira's heart jumped in her chest, not out of fear, but confusion. Why was he protecting her? She tried to move beside him, but the devourer beast growled and nudged her back gently, placing its huge body between her and the assassin's. It saw her as someone worth defending, just like Rafe did. The first assassin charged, blade out. Rafe lunged forward, grabbing the attacker's wrist and spinning him into the sand. The second assassin attacked Jalira, but the beast slammed its tail, shattering the ground and knocking the assassin off balance. Jalira moved quickly, slicing across the attacker's armor, sending him crashing down. The remaining 4 assassins surrounded them, but Rafe and the princess stood back to back, breathing hard but steady. Jalira whispered, "Human, why do you fight for me?" Rafe replied simply, "Because someone has to." His voice carried no fear, only truth. The assassins attacked all at once. Rafe dodged one blade and rolled under another. Jalira leaped high, her sword flashing bright as she cut through an attacker's chest plate. The beast roared, biting into an assassin's shoulder and flinging him aside like a rag. The last attacker tried to escape. He threw a smoke bomb to cover his retreat, but Rafe sprinted forward with sudden speed, catching the assassin before he reached the exit. He tackled him into the wall, knocking the air from his lungs. Jalira approached, sword in hand. The assassin coughed and hissed, "You should have died, princess. This empire does not need you." Jalira's eyes darkened. "If the Empire does not need me," she said coldly, "why are you so afraid of me living?" The assassin glared at Rafe instead. "And the human? He is the real danger. Kill him before he ruins you." Jalira's jaw tightened. She stabbed the assassin, cleanly silent, controlled, royal. Rafe stared at her, surprised. "You kill your own people?" he asked. She shook her head. "He stopped being my people the moment he tried to destroy peace." Rafe nodded slowly. He understood. The enemy revealed General Othar rushed into the arena, panting. "Princess, this rebellion, it is not small. The council wants to overthrow you tonight." Jalira clenched her fists. "Of course they do. They have always feared my policies. I want peace with humans. They want endless war." Othar pointed his spear toward Rafe. "And that man, he is now their proof you are weak." The princess turned toward Rafe. She expected him to look away, to deny, to fear, but Rafe just stood quietly, dust on his face, scratches on his arms, and the beast resting protectively behind him. "You are not weak," he said. "Not even close." Jalira released a slow breath. The words felt heavier than any honor she had received before. She stepped closer to him. "You saved my life twice today, human." "Rafe," he corrected softly. "That is my name." She repeated it slowly, as if tasting it. "Rafe," the devourer beast huffed approvingly. Escape from the arena. Thar shouted, "Princess! More rebels are coming. We must protect you." Jalira lifted her chin. "No, we protect the Empire." She looked at Rafe. "Will you fight with me again?" "Human?" Rafe nodded without hesitation. "Lead the way." She felt an unexpected warmth rise in her chest. For the first time in her life. She wasn't commanding a soldier. She was fighting beside someone who chose to stand with her. The trio, Princess Jalira, Rafe, and the giant beast, left the arena together. Warriors in the stands watched in awe as the royal, princess, and the human walked side by side. Some bowed. Some whispered. Some trembled. Something new was beginning, and the Empire could feel it. The palace battle inside the palace halls. Chaos reigned. Rebel soldiers pushed through corridors. Loyal guards fought desperately to hold them back. Flames burned tapestries. Cracks split the marble floor. Jalira rushed forward, slicing through attackers with swift, controlled motions. Rafe stayed close, blocking shots, kicking weapons away, driving rebels back with pure determination. The beast charged like living thunder, smashing rebels, roaring loudly enough to shake the pillars. Together, they were unstoppable. When they reached the central throne room, the council leader stood waiting, an old alien with dark purple skin and cruel eyes. "So," he said, "the princess brings a human pet to battle." Rafe stepped forward, but Jalira raised her hand. "No, he is not my pet." She looked at Rafe, her eyes steady. "He is my ally." The old leader smirked. "Then you are unfit to rule." He threw a glowing spear at her. Rafe moved faster than thought. He grabbed Jalira and pulled her out of the spear's path. The weapon sliced across Rafe's shoulder instead. Blood sprayed. Jalira gasped. "Rafe!" He staggered but didn't fall. The council leader screamed, "Kill them both!" Rebels charged from both sides. Jalira's eyes burned with fire. She turned to Rafe, her voice trembling not from fear, but from anger and something deeper. "If you die," she whispered, "I will burn every star that ever shone on this rebellion." Rafe smiled weakly. "Then I better not die." Together, they charged. The beast roared behind them, smashing rebels aside. Jalira fought with fury, her blades a blur of silver. Rafe fought with pure human resilience. He took hits, but he never stopped pushing forward. Finally, Rafe grabbed the council leader and slammed him onto the floor. Jalira pointed her sword at the old traitor's chest. "Your time ends here," she declared. The traitor hissed. A princess. Fighting for a human? Jalira answered with a smirk, the same smirk she once used to mock Rafe. No, she said. I am fighting with one. And she struck. The battle ended. The rebellion died with its leader. A new era begins hours later. The palace was secure. The fires were extinguished. Loyal guards returned to their posts. Jalira stood on the balcony overlooking her city. Rafe rested beside her, his shoulder bandaged. The Devour beast lay at his feet like a giant, peaceful guardian. The princess spoke softly. Rafe, I never expected a human to change my life in one day. He looked at her. And I never expected an alien princess to trust me. She smiled the same smirk, but now warm. Soft. Perhaps my beast saw something in you before I did, she said. It didn't devour me. Rafe joked. It bowed to you, she corrected. And maybe. So should I. Rafe blinked, stunned. Princess. She stepped closer, her voice low. You showed me strength that is not about muscle or power. You showed me loyalty without command. You saved my life. And my empire. Rafe scratched the back of his head awkwardly. So, what now? Jalira took a slow breath. Now, she said, I tell my empire that humans are not our enemies. She placed a hand on his chest gently, firmly, and this one is under my protection. The beast rumbled in agreement. The princess leaned in slightly, her silver hair brushing Rafe's shoulder. And Rafe, she whispered, if my beast bows to you, then perhaps I will too. Her smirk returned beautiful, dangerous, full of new meaning. The sun rose behind them, lighting the sky with gold and purple. A princess, a human, a beast. Together, they changed the fate of an empire.